Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokers Open podcast. I'm Dr. Ben Spears, the ambassador of Flow. I'm here with Matt Bai, the big guy, as usual.
What's up, Ambassador of Flow?
Not much. I know you like, man. We got to get on the road.
Yep.
It's going out of town. So, guys, I'm not gonna make us fly through this.
Yeah, you are. I can tell by the speed you're talking. You're
I'm not
talking
gonna
fast
make
like me.
I'm not gonna make us fly
Ben's
through
like,
this.
hey, man, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going to 2. You want to go to 3 or 2?
Yeah, we got to keep Tammy happy. So this is got to be like.
She's the one that keeps hacking in the background with half a laugh.
Yeah, we got to keep her happy.
Oh, now she's gonna quiet laugh.
We gotta be like auctioneers. Hey, can I get overcome? Can I go over every expectations? If you're listening to this on iTunes,
That was the whole podcast, everyone.
That was the whole podcast.
We hope you enjoyed it.
So Matt, what are we talking about today?
Buyer fatigue, man. The struggle is real. We're going to talk about a why. I don't think we need to get a whole lot into the why. We're going to touch on that.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about a couple of things that we can do when you're dealing with buyers in the market right now. I know some of you guys know this, but we're going to talk about how to cut it off at the pass. Okay.
Yep. Awesome, guys. Well, wherever you're listening to this, hit that follow and that subscribe button. If you want to go and check out our website, go to brokersopenpodcast.com. Go all the way to the bottom and sign up for our newsletter. We would absolutely love to send you some more information about how to get more transactions, get more closings, and make more money in your business. And that's absolutely free.
Yep.
We just like providing value to all of our listeners. So, Matt,
Yeah,
buyer fatigue,
Right.
right?
Why are they tired?
Why are they tired?
Why are they wore out? It's pretty.
Hard.
I think this. We're not going to spend a bunch of time on this. All the agents listening to this know.
Yeah,
right?
they know.
But they're tired because they've been looking and they've been dragged through the ringer, and they've had properties that they feel like are stolen out from under them. They're having to deal with real life. That some of it's a little bit more difficult than it has been in the past, right?
Yeah.
Especially the recent past.
Yeah.
And
I got a new next door neighbor. They're
Yeah.
amazing, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
I got a new next door neighbor, and I said, I think blah 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 blah. And I said, yeah, we've been shopping for 2 years.
Wow.
And I said, homie,
Glad you're here.
You earned it. You got a good one. You earned it. We're glad that you're here.
Right.
And she's a chiropractor.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah. So
yes.
how cool is that?
It meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think we've got a pretty good idea of why,
Yeah.
right? There's a ton of reasons, right? The pandemic has impacted that, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of reasons why they're fatigued. So how do we overcome it?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is we're gonna just spend a few minutes today talking about this, and how we got this information was really critical, right?
Yep.
So we recently just had an event. Everybody knows we just had our event. So in that event, we get the chance to talk to a bunch of people from a bunch of different markets, right?
Yeah.
We talked to them before the event. We got subscribers all over the place. We talked to them. They're excited about the event. They wanted more information. They're inviting people, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All those things are happening. So we get to have these conversations just with a ton of people, which we love. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what we want to do is through the podcast, we want to share what we're hearing. Right.
Yeah.
So how to overcome it. Right. So the first thing that you have to get your head wrapped around in overcoming it is don't let the market dictate when you're going to get better at overcoming it.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I mean by that. Okay. There is automatically, mediocre agents and okay agents, as the market shifts and as it changes, they eventually shift and change with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
They just kind of follow along. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're going, oh, the buyers are fatigued. I wonder what we're going to do about the buyer fatigue. And then the market keeps moving forward. And then some of those agents are just like, oh, yeah, well, I heard so-and-so through this transaction, and I heard so-and-so did this through this transaction, and maybe this and maybe that. And the next thing you know, after we're 10 months in, 12 months into buyer fatigue, I'm going to say most,
Yeah.
agents at that point are going, oh, my gosh, how do we deal with this buyer fatigue with them?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And then they kind of catch up. They play catch up. Right.
Yeah, beating a dead horse.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, I don't want to lead for my customer's sake. Right. I just want to go with the flow for my customer's sake. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would say is how to overcome it is lead. Right. Mm-hmm. Figure out in your specific market what really is causing the bulk of the fatigue. And then your job is to ease the pressure from that.
Yeah.
Three main ways you're going to ease the pressure from that. One is you got to set appropriate expectations on the front end. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't agents do that is the same reason why they wait. Okay.
Okay.
Here's why.
Yep.
So what an agent doesn't want to do is take a chance with a buyer of saying something that is going to chase that buyer off.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say the tough stuff sometimes, right?
Yeah,
So it's
absolutely.
hard in this market to say, we might not be able to find your house immediately. Because a lot of agents are thinking, well, man, if I say that, oh,
They're going to try and find an agent that is going to say,
going to tell them whatever they want to hear.
yeah, tell them whatever they want to hear.
Absolutely. So if you're an agent already that knows this, congratulations, fantastic. If you're cutting it off of the past, that's fantastic. If you're a team leader, you better make sure your freaking team is doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. But have those conversations and set the expectation on the front end, set it the right way. You're not going to say, hey, we can't find you a house. Okay.
Yeah.
But you are going to say, hey, there's some factors that are really impacting whether we're going to be able to get that perfect house that you want. Tell me exactly where you're at with your commitment to move and all that kind of stuff, right? Whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So one, you got to set that expectation, right?
Yeah.
Now, two, you have to respect that expectation.
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means is that as you start going through the transaction, if you're telling people that fall throughs are more of an issue now, that appraisals could possibly be an issue, that it's taking longer for lenders to get everything together, not because they're not trying and working their butt off, but it's longer for them to do that. You can't write a contract that says the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So respect the expectation that you set. So again, that goes back to the agent, not wanting to tell that buyer the hard thing, right? When that
Yeah.
buyer is fatigued, if we didn't say appraisals might be an issue and inspection might be an issue, if we didn't say that,
Yeah.
and it comes time to write the contract, and the first time they're hearing it is when you're writing the contract, oh, by the way, the appraisal might be an issue if we go in with that price and this happens and everything. They're thinking, what the heck?
Why didn't you tell
I
me?
finally found a place,
Yeah.
and now you're telling me I might not get that,
Yeah.
right? So when you set the expectation on the beginning, respect the expectation in the contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So that doesn't mean that you don't have to offer, and that's not what I'm telling you. Okay. That's not
Yeah.
what I'm telling podcast land out there. That's not what I'm saying. Your specific circumstances in the contract need to be properly reflected. I'm just saying that once you set the expectation, respect it to ensure that it goes the way it's supposed to. The other thing that happens is now you look like the expert.
Yeah.
Now you look like the person that knows what the hell's going on. You know how to run a transaction. You've got all those things figured out, and those people are more likely to refer you because you said, hey, here's the things we need to look out for. I know you're tired. I know you're exhausted by this process. Here's what might come up. I want you to expect that. That's going to reduce fatigue in itself. That
Okay.
stress that happens, it's going to reduce it because you're having a conversation with them of, hey, don't worry. When we get to this, what would normally feel like an impasse, I'm preparing you now. I'm going to take care of it then.
Yeah.
Once that happens, they're like, oh, man, we're here, but I'm not as stressed by it. I'm not as fatigued by it because Ben knows what the hell he's talking about. And he mentioned appraisals. He mentioned inspections earlier.
Yeah. And it's another thing too. You could say like, man, you look tired. Yeah. You go to your buddy like, you look tired. I remember when in our first showing, you didn't show up in your pajamas,
Right.
with, and Cheeto stains all over.
And by the way, you got bonbon on your face. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that, and you mentioned, right, these are hard conversations to have.
Yep.
At the beginning, they shouldn't be, but they
Right.
are. I mean, when I say they shouldn't be,
That's correct.
you should you should be so used to having them that it's like this is just part of a thing.
Yep.
This is who I am. This is part of my business. I like being up front with everybody and letting them know like this is what you should expect. That will get way easier.
Yeah, imagine being able to say to a buyer, "Hey Ben, I really love it that we're going to be working together on helping you find that perfect home, that forever home, like we discussed." So I wanted to make sure I touched on a couple of things because right now there's a lot of buyers who are just exhausted in what's going on in the market. I wanted to touch on a few things that are going to come up, but please rest assured, I'm going to be paying attention to the entire transaction to make sure that if we can avoid these situations, we will. But I'm telling you now because they could possibly come up. One, two, I don't want you getting stressed out about it, and I want you to know that we're going to cut it off at the pass if we possibly can. And three, it might impact the offer that we write. But again, I'm going to guide you through that as well. How does that sound? What is Ben going to say? Ben's
sounds amazing. Like
yeah.
that sounds exactly how I want this to go.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that I might not get lucky and get my first couple houses.
That's exactly
You never said.
That's right.
Yeah, you never said like we're going to write 25
gonna
offers
lose.
and you're going to lose 25 times.
That's right.
Right? I can tell since our first showing and you already have your pajamas on.
Right, with Cheeto stains on it.
With Cheeto stains.
Right.
Right. So, but because those conversations are hard sometimes, and you set those expectations from the beginning, the cool thing is, and you just tell me, am I right or wrong? I'm setting you up here.
Okay. Ben, something deep down the side tells me that you're right. But go ahead.
At least if you say it once, you don't have to remind. You don't have to say it again, right?
Okay, so you are incorrect.
Oh, my bad.
Absolutely, you have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Right, you have to repeat it. And here's the key thing. Here's the last key thing, and we'll kind of wrap up on this. Absolutely, you have to repeat it, but you also have to make sure that you're communicating to everyone that it's appropriate to communicate it with.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we talk about setting expectations in a transaction, if we talk about respecting those expectations, if we talk about repeating those expectations, making sure they're in the contract the way that they're supposed to, you can't have the spouse of the partner of the buyer not know any of this.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to communicate clearly with everyone that is involved. Okay. So there's some things that whenever you, as an example, let's say that you think appraisals in your market, appraisals are going to be something that needs to be approached because it's something causing buyer fatigue.
Yep.
When you submit the offer to the listing agent, that's when you talk about appraisal.
Right.
Right? You talk about the CMA before that, okay?
Yes,
you
of
talk
course.
about the value before it and all that kind of stuff. But you say, okay, so how are we going to approach, just to make sure that we're on the right page with the appraisal? How do we actually approach everything with this to ensure that everyone has all the information they need in order to make an accurate valuation of the property? You have that conversation with the listing agent when you're getting that information over. So whatever the expectation is, make sure that not only do you set it with your buyers to reduce the fatigue, but you communicate it with everyone that it's appropriate to communicate it with, because that's also going to reduce buyer fatigue.
Yeah.
Because now you're not waiting until shit blows up to turn around and say, hey, look, we got to turn around and fix this. We got to go get this worked out. We have to make sure we take care of this the way that we're supposed to take care of it. Hey, Mr. Listing Agent, are you on my side now? No, it's too late.
Yeah.
They've already moved on mentally from that. So we have to make sure that we're communicating it with everyone at the appropriate time. That way our buyer does not get fatigued. That way they don't get exhausted. That way they don't get stressed. That way they're more likely to stay with you. They're more likely to get through the transaction, because we know a fatigued buyer makes irrational decisions.
Yeah.
You got, okay, we're there, right? We're almost finished. There's one more thing on the inspection. We just have to make sure that the GFI and the bathroom is fixed, and they're going to love this house. And the buyer goes, forget it. I'm not paying for one more thing. That's it. I don't want that house anymore. I'm done. I'm going to rent for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Hold on. Don't let them get fatigued. Let's set those expectations, and let's communicate early on with everyone what's supposed to happen.
Yep, absolutely, guys. Just look at this as like you're a hiking guide.
Yep.
And you're walking them along this trail that you've been on 100 times, and you say, "Hey, there's a route up here. I don't want you to trip on it."
Yep.
So everybody make sure that you look down at this point. Let's not trip over that route, because you can hike a mile and never fall, and it'd be like, "Man, look at the view. This is so beautiful."
Right.
You can hike a mile and trip 4 or 5 times, and when you get up there, you're like,
It's the worst hike ever.
This is the worst hike ever. I did all that for this."
Right.
Right. And that's
Same view.
Yeah, same view.
Yep.
Just different path.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit that red bell right beside of it. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. If you want to watch all these at the same place, just go to brokersopenpodcast.com and give us some feedback there, and let us know how we're doing, or some other topics maybe that you would want to hear us talk about. So Matt,
if you know a great guest, we're always looking for fantastic guests. If you know a great guest, somebody that if you're crushing it in your market, or if somebody else is crushing it in your market, or if there's somebody that you deal with on a regular basis that's just absolutely awesome, and we're all over the place, and we'll do it virtually with them, so it doesn't matter what market they're in. We'd love to have them on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we want to highlight good work and find out what other people are doing
and share,
so that we can share that with everybody else.
Yep.
Matt.
Yeah, Ben.
We do that.
Right?
Because we love these podcasts and we love the listeners.
Right?
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not just about overcoming buyer fatigue.
It's not.
Right? It's not just about setting expectations. It's a lot about that.
It is.
It's not just about open houses. What's it about, Matt?
It's about open minds.